Hello, everyone. I am excited to be here. Thank you so much for that. Victor is an absolute powerhouse. He has always been such a kind-hearted and wonderful person, and I can only imagine how wonderful this past semester has been with him. I'm grateful that we've had the opportunity to partner, and he's allowed me to pour into him with speaking, and at the same time, allow me to be here with all of you today. So, just want to say thank you. We are going to be focusing on techniques that we can use when it comes to speaking with confidence. And I'm just getting the screen up now. So we're going to be using a few tools through Zoom. And we're going to be interacting through chat and having a good time together for the next hour or so. So feel free to ask questions as they come in. Feel free to message anything that you need to communicate. And just feel free to be yourself because when it comes down to speaking and getting in front of a crowd, it's one of the most nerve-wracking things that any of us can do, right? But when we are our authentic self, we have a much better time when it comes to handling what goes with this, what can be such a stressful time, right? So for anybody that's wondering, I am an alum from the University of South Florida. I went to the Tampa campus, and I do go by Rocky in my professional life because I happen to be a professional speaker. Uh-oh, we skipped through twice. And I truly believe that the cheat code to winning in life is with speaking. Now, it is an opportunity for you to express yourself. It is an opportunity for you to have more traction when it comes to where you're going in your career with academics, so many different avenues. And anybody here? All right, so we're going to start having some fun with the chat because this is where I'd like to have some conversation here. Drop a one in the chat if you have heard of a man by the name of Warren Buffett. All right. There we go. We see some ones coming in. Perfect. All right. So it seems like everybody, that name is pretty popular, right? We've heard of Sir Warren Buffett. Now, Warren Buffett himself said that public speaking is the most valuable tool that anybody can have in their lifetime. And that public speaking can either 50x your business in liability or 50x your business in assets. Now, what does that mean? When we have a powerful grasp on speaking, we can really take ourselves that much farther in life. But when we don't, it can hurt us in the long run. So, who here, drop a two in the chat if you believe that this is an opportunity for you to develop the asset of speaking. All right, all right. Wonderful, wonderful. Awesome. Love to see it. Just to give you a little bit more background about me. Now, this has been speaking on the impact of my career, and I'm going to just talk through this briefly because I've had an opportunity to really see my life go in a different direction because of my ability to communicate. Now, the first job I ever got out of school, and I'm going to call it my first big girl job, all happened because of a presentation I did while I was an undergrad at the University of South Florida. I double majored in marketing and management, and this was one of my higher level marketing classes that I was taking. And we had to put together a presentation, a complete activation on how we were going to pitch Verizon Fios on the University of South Florida's campus. And it just so happened that my group won. Now, from the first day that we did that presentation to the day that I was offered that job, it was a year. Because when I went into that presentation, I let my entire team know, listen, I'm looking to get a job out of this. And that's exactly what happened. From there, I thought that I was going to go into the marketing world and become this, scale the ranks and become this high level marketing professional and guac, 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 like VP this and, chief marketing officer that, only to have in 6 months into my position, my director pulls me into the room and says, you have a skill set and you have multiple skill sets you haven't tapped into yet. And so we're going to put you in training. I was mortified. What? I now, as a contractor, because I wasn't even employed as a full-time employee, I came in as a contractor, now had to go into a union environment and train people that had been in the company longer than I had been alive. And guess what? it was one of the greatest things that ever happened to me because it was my ability to speak and communicate with people that truly allowed me to see that training and speaking and workshops and pouring into people was something that I was truly passionate about. Now, as you can see, I still had much more of a path ahead of me, and I eventually got that six-figure job, only for it to end last year. And you know what? It was one of the best things that ever happened to me because now I get to pour into other people and I absolutely love it. And I did it by starting my own company where I became a speaker. And now I can do trainings and workshops and work with all types of students and leaders and individuals from everywhere. All right. So I love it. I see I have a YouTube channel that I run an LLC. That's amazing. I love it. I love it. All of these different aspects you're going to want to do as you're going to have to incorporate that speaking into your world or find a way to communicate creatively, right? Love it, love it. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this first quick poll up. I know a couple of people are wondering where the Slido is coming in. I'm going to press launch. Now, you should see something pop up on your screen that allows you to accept the app if you haven't. So we're going to give it a little bit of time. And then you'll be able to answer the poll from there. All right, so I'm starting to see some responses come in. Wonderful, wonderful. We're going to give this a little bit of time. Again, you're going to accept the Slido polling app, and then you're going to rate on a scale of 1 to 5. How confident are you when it comes to speaking? I have about 8 votes in now. That would be speaking in public. That's a great distinction. Let's talk about speaking in public when we're in front of more than just one person. Even though it is speaking and communicating when we're speaking one-on-one. So if we could do it with one person, we can do it in front of many. That's my vote anyway.
Sorry, I don't see the application. Is this something that we can find on the App Store or
All right. Who is the one that can't see it?
Ezekiel?
Ezekiel. All right. So let me see if I can send the polling share app. Did it pop up on your side now that I sent it to you in direct message through Zoom?
Isn't okay? Yeah, now I see it.
Perfect. Can't see it either. All right. Nancy and Owen. All right. Let me give this a shot and share this with you. Nancy, we're going to, and Owen. Kylie. All right, perfect. Ty, share. Did I get everybody? Stephen too. All right, let me get, and Delilah. All right.
I didn't see it when I was on the web browser, but then I downloaded the app and then it showed up for me once I downloaded the app of Zoom.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we have to download the app. Thank you all for communicating that with me. And don't worry, we have the whole hour together, so we have time to come. I see some more coming in. All right, so it should allow you to see the app through the chat on Zoom. And as one of your other classmates said, I'm sorry, I didn't see who was speaking. You might have to have the Zoom app to be able to access it. Please let me know if anyone else is struggling to see the polling. All right, we have more votes coming in, so it looks like we're getting a little farther. All right, we're gonna give that about another 30 seconds. And no worries, we are gonna have one more poll if you want to see if you can get that up and running on your side, but if not, we will be okay. The question is on a scale of 1 to 5, how confident are you when you're speaking? And whether you can answer this on the poll or not, make sure that you are answering this within yourself. All right. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so we have about 36% of people in the class so far gave themselves a 5. 18% gave themselves a 4. We have about 18% at 3 and 27% at 2. All right. So for those people that, oh, we have some numbers that are changing and some more coming in. All right. So we have about 27% across 2, 3, and 5, and about 18% at 4. So let's unpack this a little bit. If you all would like to come off mute and chat about this, for someone that felt confident with their speaking at about a 4 or 5, what do you think about when you think about public speaking that makes you feel comfortable? Or feels like, yeah, I could do this. I'm confident.
I mean, for me, like I said, I have the YouTube channel. So in the back of my mind, hearing the fact that random people on the internet have seen and heard my voice, what's going to be worse than I can put names to faces in a room? It's not really as big of a deal as it would be before I started that.
Awesome. So it's not as all-encompassing as sometimes our minds can make us feel that speaking is, right? It is something that we communicate on a regular basis, and after we've done it a few times, it gets easier from what I'm hearing, right, Carson?
Yeah, it's just having that reassurance where it's like I already know that people I've never seen or heard of are hearing my voice. So it makes it more confident for me seeing names and faces in front of me when I'm talking to them.
I love it. Anyone else want to add anything to that?
I've had just like a lot of experience, whether it's like debating other people or different speaking experiences that I've had. And I've just felt more comfortable the more that I do it. So that's just helped me a lot.
All right, so flexing that muscle, getting out there and doing it makes it easier. It's like the same thing when we work out or go to a gym or when we're learning a new subject and we're practicing it. The more we do it, the easier it gets, 100%. All right, what about somebody that, uh-oh, I see that muscle flexing, Vic. All right, so what about somebody that looks at public speaking like, I'm not really confident in it. Anybody want to add what part of the feelings or thoughts that go through your mind when it comes to not being as comfortable? It's like you're asking us to talk when we're telling you that speaking in public ain't our thing. Got it. All right. Anybody, you can even drop it in the chat if you'd like to, like,
Yes, I can
listen.
say something.
Yeah.
Uh, for me, like I feel conscious that I have an accent, and when I get nervous, I forget like the words, and I'm conscious thinking that people are gonna make fun of me because of my accent, and it just makes me nervous. That's just my reason.
I understand. And that's something that does happen because we can't help how other people view our ability to speak multiple languages, right? But if you were going to speak in your first language, would you feel more confident then?
See, at this point, like I've been half of my life here and half of my life in Mexico, and I feel like I can even speak perfectly now Spanish or English. Like like sometimes I'm talking and I forget how do you say it in English and I drop it in Spanish. And if I'm talking Spanish and then I forget how to say it in Spanish and I have to throw an English word because I forgot. It's kind of hard. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
No, completely understand. Being bilingual is a superpower at the same time that it can be a little bit fleeting. The words can be fleeting when we're in the moment and we're trying to communicate, right?
And I feel more nervous when it's like new, like a new crowd. Like I feel confident or comfortable when it's people that I have been around and I know them. Like I can speak to a group, like for example, like at my office, like we have 10 people working with me. I can do a speech on them and I'm fine. But if I go to the class and it's all these people that I don't know, I get nervous.
Completely 100% normal. But I will tell you this, the fact that you can speak more than one language is something that makes you very powerful. And as many times as we can run into different situations where people may look at us like we have an accent, if I go to another country, I have an American accent, right? So we all have accents somewhere, and you are totally empowered in the fact that you are bilingual and that you're able to communicate with so many people across the globe. So no matter what, we all have our different complexes and frustrations we have to work through, but that's also what makes us unique and so incredible at what we do in this world, because your perspective is no one else has it, right? So never allow someone else's Snickers to stop you from being your most authentic self, which is where speaking can get hard, right?
Right. Well,
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate you.
you.
So today we're going to talk about uncovering some of those fears with public speaking, right? And we're going to talk about how we can improve our career and our life. We're also going to tap into 3 different secrets that you all will be able to take with you today that you can implement moving forward when it comes to the power of speaking. And we're going to do a couple of group activities and class activities, all right? And at the end, we'll have Q&A and you guys can ask me anything you want. Sound like a plan? Drop a 1 in the chat if that sounds like a plan. Like, all right, we with you, Rocky. We rocking with you, Rocky. All right, Carson's rocking with me. Nancy's rocking with me. Luke. All right, we got some people. All right, somebody put a 2. What does 2 mean? What does 2 mean? You're not rocking with me? All right, cool. All right, so moving on. So we are going to use the whiteboard in the Zoom app. And in the whiteboard, we are going to write down any words or phrases that come to mind when we are thinking of public speaking. All right. So we're going to continue. All right. Does everybody see the whiteboard? All right, I see some names popping in. For those people that have not used the whiteboard before, you are able to look all the way to the left and you can go in and add text and write. You can choose the T will be for text. So if you're more comfortable just typing it in, go for it. If you are someone that wants to scribble around a little bit, go ahead. And then even after you write your phrase, your word, whatever it may be, feel free to change the color of the font, the size of the font, the text, whatever it is, you go for it and add in there a word or a phrase that comes to mind when you think of public speaking. All right. We can have fun. We can turn it to the side. Okay, I see confidence. I see leadership, a crowd. I think not fun. Okay, perfect. I understand it's not fun for everybody, right? Fear, scared, the power of my voice. I see a little fun arrow coming out. Posture, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. I like how things are moving around. Have you guys all used this function before in Zoom? If you've used it, say, yeah, I've used it.
No, I never used it before.
Never used it before. Isn't this fun though?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's pretty dope. Oh, I like that we have some changes in the text and the font. All right. Inflection and your voice. Perfect. All right. I don't know if it's going off the side a little bit. Boom, practice. All right, so if some people would like to come off of mute, when you read some of these words, does that make, there we go, inflection and tone of your voice. Perfect. Thank you for moving that in. Does anybody resonate with words that they did not put on the screen themselves? You can come right off mute.
Uh, I say nervous. Well, I can speak to a group with no problem, but I feel like when I start practicing, I kind of get a little nervous when I practice.
All right, we get nervous when we practice. Okay. That makes, I like how whoever wrote anxiety, I love the way you wrote it. Because how you wrote anxiety is how anxiety feels. Do we have tic-tac-toe going on in the corner too? All right, we have some tic-tac-toe going on in the corner. I love it. All right, cool, perfect. We're getting excited with the tools that we have. All right, thank you for that. I think that was Jordan that just spoke, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Anyone else? What else do you see? Do you see any words here that are like, yeah, I totally resonate with that?
I see nervousness in the beginning, but once I actually start speaking, then I gain confidence like while I'm going and speaking while doing it. But I would say I get nervous like right beforehand and preparing it too, like Jordan said.
Awesome. So yes, nervousness. We're actually going to tap on that today. So I'm so glad that we're writing some of these things down because what I appreciate about what you said, Luke, is like at the beginning, I feel nervous, but then when I get into my flow, I feel better. And that's a powerful thing because you know how you are coming into your speaking. So now you're like, all right, I already know I'm going to go through this anxiety or this nervousness thing, but then once I'm in the groove, I'm good to go, right? So got some really dope things going on here. We now have a tie that happened in tic-tac-toe. Sorry, everybody, we are not going to be able to find out who the tic-tac-toe champion is for today, but maybe next time. So I'm going to close out the whiteboard, all right? Boom.
If I can add something real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone once told me don't think of it as being nervous, but they said to think of it as being excited. And I really liked that when they told me that. It was just a cool little perspective.
I love that you said that. Victor, are you like smiling on the inside because Luke said that? There we go. Yes. So I am so excited that you said that because we are absolutely going to talk about that and we're going to unpack that. So we're going to get back to you when we get there, all right? So appreciate it, love it. So you all know the fear of public speaking has a phrase, it's glossophobia. And 75% of people in the entire globe feel some type of anxiety when they go up to speak. Drop a 2 in the chat if you have heard that it is one of the top fears that people suffer from in the world is speaking in public. Boom. All right, drop a 22 if you're like, yeah, I'm with them. I'm with them. I'm afraid of this thing. I'm not really about this speaking thing. All right, thank you for your honesty. I see some honesty coming in. I appreciate it. You know what? It's completely normal. And it is great that you're able to say, yeah, this ain't the thing I'm about. But when we're able to tap into things that are hard for us, you would see such a transformation in our life as we move forward with it, right? If you resonate with any of these phrases on the screen, write the number that correlates with it. Feel free to write more than one. All right, we got some 3s coming in. We got a 2. A couple of you have been a few quiet. I have seen some of the same names coming in, but some of you have been quiet. So let's keep moving. Make sure you're including some stuff in the chat. It helps give me energy for you all too, because guess what? I'm speaking to all of you. All right. So the truth is that so many of us, even the people that do this professionally for their life, for their livelihood, have had moments like this or struggle with some of these thoughts before going in front of a crowd. But there's a power of shifting our mindset that allows us to tap into possibilities that we never thought that we could tap into. And we're going to talk about people that excel in public speaking are 85% more likely to be promoted in leadership positions. Why? Communication and your ability to sell yourself. But we're going to talk about the last secret, and then we're going to tap into how we're going to communicate. We're going to go into some breakout rooms. Posture is going to be powerful when it comes to your presence. And this is something that you're going to also use in those moments where you go into your interviews, when you go into spaces where you're presenting yourself for the first time. I don't remember who it was, but somebody did come out and say that posture is powerful and part of your presence, correct? I think I saw that in the chat. It's true. Your presence and your posture taps into your presence, and your presence and your posture taps into your confidence. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick sample. So if you are in a place where you can stand up and put yourself against the wall, please do. All right. If not, if you have to stay in your seat, you're going to do this exercise with me. So it's the wall alignment drill. For those that are in their seat or for those standing, you're going to put the back of your head against the wall, your shoulders. You're going to put your hips all the way against the wall, and you're going to put your back of your heels all against the wall. You can see Victor doing it now. If you're in your seat, you're going to you're going to raise your head. You're going to make sure that your chin is parallel to the floor. You're going to have your shoulders back. You're going to make sure you're all the way in the seat, and you're going to have your feet planted on the ground. This is your way that you can practice how you align your confidence. For those that are standing, take a step away from the wall in that posture. Ask yourself, are you walking into rooms with this posture, or are you walking in with the body language of people aren't going to take you seriously? This is an opportunity for you when you walk into rooms, when you're doing your interviews, when you're meeting new people, when you're presenting who you are before you open your mouth. Your posture will do that for you, and it will help you feel more confident as you speak and as you go through whatever message it is that you are sharing with people. Does anybody not agree with that? All right, so we more or less agree that when we have a powerful posture that we feel better, right? Now we don't want to be a robot either, right? Because now we're not looking natural. But it's an opportunity for us to say, am I allowing myself to slump into my chair? Am I giving my best self? Or am I in my natural power position so that I can communicate as effectively as I need to? Dancers never say a word on stage, but they are able to command a room with their body language. And that is something that we can learn from them when it comes to communicating. Because whoever you're asking, 70 to 90% of communication is nonverbal. What are you communicating when you're not speaking? So, what we're going to do is we're going to do a breakout activity. And I think, how many people do I have on this call? I have 18, which would be 16. So we're going to do 4 different rooms. We're going to do breakout rooms. We're going to assign automatically. We're going to create 4 breakout rooms. And you are going to do a 30-second introduction about yourself. You're going to just we're going to take a couple minutes and you're going to take a screenshot if you need to, who you are, what you study, and a unique fact or about yourself. And you're each going to drop that as quickly as possible, because guess what? You're going to be doing this for the rest of your life. So we're going to get out into those breakout sessions and then we're going to come back into the main room, okay? And open all rooms. Please go and join your rooms. All right. I'm just here to be a fly on the wall. If you all would like to go around the room real quick and say who you are, what you study, and a unique fact or passion that you have. Kylie, would you like to get us started?
Yeah, I'll go ahead. I'm Kylie. I'm a marketing major at USF and I love reading.
Perfect. Dylan, let's go.
I'm Dylan. I'm getting my major in management, and I like to come up with different, unique, creative stories.
Beautiful. Owen. You're on mute, Owen.
Having some problems there. Can you hear me now?
Yep, we can hear you.
All right. My name's Owen. I'm currently studying marketing at USF here, and I'm interested in going to the gym and hanging out with friends.
Beautiful. All right, so I'm going to pop into one more breakout session before I bring you all back. But if you would like to give positive feedback on what you heard between your introductions and what you liked between what each other said, okay?
Sounds good.
Nice.
Hi.
Let's go, chat.
Hey, chat, what's up? All right, yeah. That's good stuff. It's good to meet y'all.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Yes, sir.
All right, did everybody give their name, what they're studying, and what their fun fact is?
Yeah.
Yep.
Your
All
turn.
right. Perfect.
Yeah, your turn.
My turn? All right.
Yeah.
My name is Rocky Toro, and I am a professional speaker out of Tampa, Florida, that speaks to the power of betting on yourself. And I absolutely love my rescue. He is the love of my life, and his name is Pabu. For anybody that hasn't heard Legend of Korra, he's named after this little character here.
Oh, I have seen that show. It's really good.
Boom, love that show. Such a nerd about it.
Awesome.
I'm going to bring us back into the main room soon. So thank you all for that.
All right. Yep.
Perfect. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. And as we're coming back in the room, if we can have 2 or 3 people drop some positive things that we saw other people do in their introduction. All right, if anybody would like to share one or two positive things that they saw with somebody's introduction, please go. Drop it in the chat, peeps, if you don't want to come off the chat, if you don't want to come off of mute. We're going to drop one or two positive things that we saw in the way people introduce themselves. What I saw was concise, and I appreciated that the energy that people used within their personality to express themselves. Anyone else?
Yeah, I thought Steven did pretty good in ours. He seemed pretty confident. It looks like he knows what he wants out of life. So
Boom. All right, cool. Awesome. Love it. So I just want you to know they were authentic. Thank you for that. What I want you to know is that that exercise that seems so ridiculous, you will be doing for the rest of your life. Every corporate room you walk in, every time you walk into a new classroom, every time that you have a new meeting, you will be doing that introduction. And as silly as it may seem, it is always important to have your name, what you do, what you're about, and a fun fact ready to go. The cheat code for being better prepared for interviews, right? So what you're going to now all have the opportunity to do, so quickly write in. I would like for each of you to drop an interview question in the chat, and I'm going to pick one to ask Victor, and then he's going to pick one to ask me. We're going to focus on something called the STAR method, which is situation, task, action, result. Situation, task, action, result. This is the best way that you can go about asking your answering interview questions anywhere you go. I'm going to pick, because I've been doing the talking and we're running on time, I'm totally going to put Victor on the spot because why not? He's your professor. It's my favorite things. And I'm going to see, let me see, what question do I want to ask? I see you're all interested in this one. How do you handle stressful situations, Victor? Using the STAR method, how do you handle stressful situations?
So as you all know, I am an academic advisor.
Awesome, everyone. Thank you. If we get little clap emojis coming on, little strong emojis, hearts, whatever it may be, thank you. We absolutely put Victor on the spot, right? And that's going to happen to us. But when we have an opportunity to prepare, we can help make that response as clear as possible. Did everybody hear the STAR method in his response? If you did, drop a 1 in the chat. Did you hear the STAR method in his response? Right? He talked about the situation that happened and the task that he needed to complete. And then he spoke through the action that was taken and the result that came out of it. If you always use STAR method when you're in an interview, when you're speaking in front of people that are judging if they're going to hire you or not, you will find yourself in a much better situation because guess what? The people that are interviewing you are filling out the STAR method. So if you talk to the STAR method, you make their job easier and it makes it easier for them to write in that you responded to everything. And don't be afraid. This is when storytelling makes sense in the interview process, right? He told a story through the situation. And then he was able to get you through the rest of it. Give the class an opportunity. If anyone would like to ask me any questions, I'm happy to stay on a little bit longer. I know that we are coming to time, but we do have about 2 minutes left. Does anybody have any questions for me or any takeaways from today?
no, I didn't have a question, but I thought the lecture was pretty good. So thank you.
Absolutely. Happy to be here. I appreciate you all being so responsive.
I do have a question.
Yeah, go for it, Ezekiel.
I don't think it has anything to do with public speaking.
Go for it.
Maybe it technically does. I don't know. What are some good topics of conversation to make small talk? Because I'm good at public speaking, but I'm terrible at small talk. Because whenever I think of something like the weather, the traffic, it all seems just so generic, so mundane. I mean, I like to just get to the point, which is why I've never been particularly good at small talk. I don't see the point in it. But I don't know. Do you have any ideas in mind or that are a little more, um, uh, a little more well developed than it's nice weather we're having, or how is the traffic, or so something basically like that. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So I will say this. This was a tip that my marketing teacher gave me, and I'm going to apply this more in a professional context. You are going to constantly get on the phone and speak to people that you don't know, that you have to work with. They're not really your friend. They're not somebody that does the same thing as you, but you do want to have some type of kindness that you extend to them. One thing you can do is look at their background, like their physical background, right? So, for example, Alfonso, you can see that he has a background that you can see that he's in an office, but that there's the traffic behind him and that there's plants and all these kind of things. So you more or less see the setting that he's in. Maybe when you're looking at his background, you're like, oh, wait a minute. Let's say that's a printer. I can't quite tell. That printer, I used to I was thinking about getting a printer. What do you think about that one? Do you like it? Is it something that you would recommend? Or maybe you notice that in Victor's background that he's up there 3 times. You can say, man, it looks like you're in one of those mirror houses, right? So you can feed off of the environment if you have an opportunity. I will also say this. Every professional talks about the weather all the time. I used to always do this in clients and stuff like, hey, what part of the world are you calling from? Oh, I'm out here in Phoenix, Arizona. Oh man, hasn't it been a little crazy out there with the weather? Isn't it dry out there? Oh, yes, it's so hot. Blah, 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 blah. The weather is just somehow always a thing professionals talk about. But always extend the courtesy of asking where somebody's from, especially since we're in a virtual world, that you can say, "Oh, what part of the world are you calling from?" Or now, let's say you had a conversation with them before, and they mentioned in an email that they were getting married or that they were going on vacation. The next time you speak to them, bring that up. How was your vacation? Did you enjoy your honeymoon? And they will talk. So what we have is the opportunity to feed off of our background. We can always go generic when we have nothing else to feed off of, and we can continue conversations with what they gave us from the first time they spoke about because we took the time to remember what they communicated with us. That's actually a really great question.
Very good. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. So thank you all. I just want to say I appreciate all of you. Thank you all for today. I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate the interaction. You are all very much appreciated. And I look forward to maybe seeing you all again.